There was a version of myself that prayed to be where I am today. I'm upset comparing myself to other people, and there was a time where I was comparing myself to people who are in the shoes that I am in at this very moment. What's going on, you guys? Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. My name is Bree, aka the one and the only, the first and the finest Miss Wright. If you are new here, and if you are returning, mwah, you already know the vibes. Thank you so much for stopping by. For those who are new, I am your Gen girly, your sis, your friend, your bestie, someone who is working to successfully navigate her 20s in an attempt to thrive in her 30s. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because this is a journey that will be lots of glowing, lots of elevating, but also a lot of learning and a lot of insight. So nonetheless, it'll be a journey that is worth watching. And if you're not on the journey, you just like to, you know, be entertained, I got lots of that for you too. Okay, so in today's video, I will be touching on something that has been bothering me as of late. By the time you see this video, it should be 2025, and I want to preface this by saying there is absolutely, positively no way that you will succeed in 2025 if you do not take heed to the advice that I'm going to give you. Granted, you might not even have this problem, but most people do. And we're talking about comparison. So before we get into it, you see me in my little robe, you know. Yeah, I'm about to get ready to go on a little date. Not too much, not too much, not too much, not too much. I'm just going on a little date, you know, something calm, something cute. But I figured while I do my makeup, I could chat with y'all. So, comparison. The thief of joy, they say. Yeah, we've heard that 1,000 times, but does that make it any easier to stop doing it? No, especially with the day and age that we live in. If you're struggling with comparison, if you've been in this predicament where you can't get on the internet without feeling bad about yourself because you're constantly comparing yourself, or if you work in an industry where you're maybe comparing yourself to your teammates, you're comparing yourself to your competitors, to the opposition. Are you dating and feeling like you're constantly comparing yourself to other women? Whatever it is, no matter the realm that you're experiencing this in, I feel as though there are louder reasons besides the fact that it is the thief of joy that can help us to learn how to not do it. We don't want to do it in a way that is going to deter us. We want to alleviate ourselves from the burden of comparison. No one wants to feel bad about themselves on the daily at the hands of comparison. So how are we going to navigate it? How are we going to get past it? And the fact of the matter is that it is a human trait. It is something that we will likely do. But how are we going to make it so that we aren't debilitated by this comparison? Let's get into it. I'm also going to be doing my little skincare routine because I just hopped out the shower, brushed my hair up, and turned this camera on. So, like I said, comparison is the thief of joy. We've heard this 1,000 times. Why else should we not compare ourselves to other people? Before getting into this, I just wanted to tell y'all why it's been weighing on me. Being in this content creation space, it can be incredibly difficult to not compare yourself to people. And then I also have a tendency to beat myself up. I can be my toughest critic at times. And we're working on all this New Year stuff, New Year this, New Year that, goals. How are we going to accomplish it? If you want to learn how to accomplish your goals and to do a true New Year life audit, I suggest you go and check out that video because I do touch on it and some. But as you're doing these New Year life audits and you're setting your goals and you're writing down in your planner and all that things, you start to look at the people who have already achieved those goals. And especially in a space like content creation, sometimes they could have done the very bare minimum and have exceeded you in terms of growth, in terms of brand deals and partnerships and collaborations. It can become incredibly frustrating, especially when you're operating in a space where you're putting so much time, I'm gonna wrap my hair, where you're putting so much time and energy into something and you're just waiting for results. It can make you look at other people and be like, well, what are they doing that I'm not? And it can cause you to beat up on yourself. It doesn't have to just be where content creation is concerned. It could be with anything. Somebody has something that you want and you've been working your butt off to get it for a long time. You start looking at them like, what the hell? And that's a normal feeling. I want to make sure we take the time to acknowledge that it is okay to feel that way, but we're not going to sulk in that. We're not going to stay with that mindset, because there's so many reasons that I'm about to get into as to why you shouldn't. But that's where I was coming from and why I decided that I needed to sit down and make this video, to the point where I was almost brought to tears yesterday. I think I was just getting really worked up trying to balance everything between my 9 to 5 and my passion projects, my content creation on the side, trying to feel like how can I balance all of this and I'm still not getting the results that I want. I'm feeling drained, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm looking at these other people like, why are they there and I'm not? And I had to snap myself out of it. I got some really, really good advice from a person that is taking me on a date right now later. And I also talked to God, and I also wrote in my journal until I fell asleep last night. And it brought a lot of things to light. So I'm about to share those with you now. Okay, so besides the fact that it is the thief of joy, why else should you not compare yourself to other people? The first thing that came to mind when I was journaling was, it's like a slap in the face to God. And I mean that as literally as possible. Clearly you can't slap God, but imagine someone had like created you in their image. They created you with you in mind. Your journey, your life, your face, your situation, your family, like everything that was created about you was created for a specific reason. Oftentimes, God's plans are not what we think they are. We can't predict them. We have the tendency to make our own plans. I just need my edges to lay. If I were to look at my life, look at my experiences, look at what I've dealt with and say like, I don't want this life. I want her life. She has the man, she has the car, she has the money, she has it all. Why do I have this? It's like you're being ungrateful. One, there's so much things that God has blessed you with, and I want us to just take a moment to have gratitude where that is concerned. You're like probably comparing yourself to something that might be tangible for whatever reason. It could be deeper than that, but most times when we're experiencing these feelings, it's something that's pretty vain, or like it has to do with vanity, or it has to do with some type of tangible objects, things. But God has blessed you with the ability to hit play on this video right here. There's a lot of people that cannot do that. God bless you with the Wi-Fi you're using to hit play and to pull up YouTube. God bless you with eyes that can see me physically speaking to you right now. How dare you be like, I don't want this life. I want her life. Like, girl, be so for real. You're being ungrateful. I was about to start going off. There is a lot of ways that you can put it, in different ways that you could like really think about it. But this was the loudest version for me, because when I think about disappointing God, everything just becomes a whole lot more real. Like, okay, I might disappoint myself. I might disappoint my friends, unfortunately. But God, y'all get it. It's a slap in the face. Second reason why you should not compare yourself to others is because it stifles your growth. You might have heard this one before too, but quite literally, it stifles your growth in a way where you could swear up and down you're comparing yourself to somebody that has oh so much more. But have you ever heard the saying where you're so focused on this and God's trying to give you this? You can be comparing yourself to what looks like this, but in all actuality, it is this. Your purpose might have you here. What's meant for you might have you here. And you're comparing yourself to something you swear up and down is the end all be all. And baby, you're stifling your growth by looking back. I might have touched on this, I think, in one of my Lover Girl Survival Guide videos. But looking back in any capacity, looking back, looking down, trying to drag anybody up with you, and or looking back because you're so concerned with what other people are doing, stifles your growth. Both literally, if we were physically trying to go somewhere and you're like, if you've ever ran track, do they tell you to look to the other person beside you and see how fast they're running? Or do they tell you to look at the destination and run? Baby, you cannot go nowhere when you're looking to the side, when you're looking the other way. Even if you're looking forward, you need to be mindful about how much. We want to be inspired. We want to be influenced in a sense, and positively influenced rather, but we do not want to be looking so hard that we just start feeling bad about ourselves. That's not the type of looking that we need to do. And if we're doing that, then it is stifling our growth. And finally, the last reason that, well, not the last reason, but one of the last reasons that I thought that it was a bad idea to continue to compare myself to other people was because, quite actually, I do not know their life. And this might be something that you've heard as well, but I want you to really try to actualize that thought process. You do not know what it took for that person to get there. And this could be both positive and negative. So maybe the person that you're looking at has the man you think you want, has the car, has the house, has the designer bags, and everything in between. Negatively, you don't know what that person did. They could have sold their soul to get those things. Negatively, it could look like peaches and cream on the internet. And then in real life, they hate their life. I was just having this conversation with my friends about a football girlfriend. And we were just thinking like, you know, dang, like we really missed out. We really could have been living large. We could have been relaxing, sitting back, feet kicked up, being somebody NFL player's baby mom. Like, how did we miss that bag? And it was a little key, but then we all came to our senses and was like, but God bless us with this life for one. And I kindly let everybody know for two, we don't know what they got going on at home. They could hate their lives. Some of those girls are younger than me. I'm 27. Some of those girls are younger than me and they is mothers. But maybe because they swore up and down that they was hitting a lick because it's a football player that they're having a child with. But what if hitting a lick is not the reason that you should be a mother? Do you see how this can unravel into a bunch of things that are not desirable and have you thinking that you want this life so desperately and they could be going through so much? How many celebrities do we know who have overdosed? They abuse all of these different drugs, and some of them even have committed suicide. Between suicide and overdosing amongst celebrities, people that you just assume have it all, it's because you cannot tell what people are going through behind closed doors just by looking at them. That's the negative side of not knowing their life. Positive side is that they could have been working for eons to get to where they are now. They could have been busting their butt before TikTok was what it was, before YouTube was what it was, before the internet was so accessible. And they might be looking at you like, man, these little young bulls got it easy. You don't know what they was doing. You don't know what they were doing behind closed doors. They could have been hustling. They could have been not sleeping when you were sleeping. They could have been posting 17 times a day. Like whatever. I keep comparing it to content creation because that's where I was coming from when I was doing my little journal situation last night. But you get the gist. A lot of times we see people when they get to the successful part that we just assume that they just popped up and was successful. Some of them do. And then you have to also say, I don't know their life. We don't know how long that's gonna last. We don't know what they're doing with the money that they're making. They might be in debt. Let's really talk about it. Some of the people that you are idolizing, thinking that they are so rich, they have a designer bag and not a pot to piss in. Y'all keep watching this video. Y'all kept watching this video and y'all keep staying on this channel because I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you every single time. Some of them are piss poor in real life. It's sad, actually. Not everybody was taught financial literacy as a child. Not everybody has a supportive family, a supportive an encouraging support system. Some people have to deal with so much more than you can really see, and that is the basis of how you cannot just assume that somebody's journey is something that it is. Your journey is your journey. Theirs is theirs. Your journey is your journey for a reason. Trying to compare yourself to them until you... It's going to get you nowhere. Especially when you don't know their life and you don't know what they got going on. And the one other thing that dawned on me when thinking about this was I'm looking at this person's life like, dang, they really are exactly where I want to be. Dang, one day, dang, I wonder if I could ever.
Sigh. Am I ever going to get there? It's so easy. Wow, we're at the same age and she's already so much further ahead in life than me and blah, blah, blah.
And then I thought to myself, she probably looking at somebody's life thinking the same thing. Have you ever thought of that? There's always another tier of success or whatever it is that people are gonna want. There's always something else that someone else is gonna want. There's always something else. There's always another thing. There's always another step, another ladder that people are gonna want. So it's kind of pointless to compare yourself to people. Example, you might be comparing yourself to the girl living in Midtown, high rise, with her little man, her boyfriend, in her, I don't know, in her Audi. She might be comparing herself to the girl living in a New York high rise with her rich boyfriend in designer bags, cosmetic surgery, driving a Benz truck. The girl in the Benz truck might be comparing herself to a girl in a Rolls Royce with her husband and acres of land and constant trips to the Maldives. A girl in the Maldives might be envying the girl who don't got no kids. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I can go on for days. The point is, there is always something. The person you are looking and comparing yourself to is comparing themselves to somebody else. And they're comparing themselves to somebody else. And they're comparing themselves to somebody else. It's literally pointless. It is like a waste of brain energy to even be upset about something like that. Yeah, there's so many different feelings that you could apply here instead of being envious. And that is essentially how we are going to stop comparing ourselves to people. The first thing that I suggest in an attempt to stop comparing yourself to other people is to check yourself. And this might sound easier than it is in reality, but I actually one time I said I have the tendency to watch a lot of YouTube videos while I'm working out. And then this one girl was just going on and on. I think it was Jazz Turner. Love the girl. Love her down. It's my soror. Skiwi soror. Anywho, she's talking about how she's like moving to New York and doing all these wonderful things. And she's accomplished all of these things. And I think I was watching like,
Dang, I remember when moving to New York was a goal of mine. It was a dream of mine. I don't know if that'll ever happen. And da-da-da-da. She's literally living the dream.
She said she was going to move into an apartment that cost $5,000 a month. I said, immediately a part of my brain said, I could never. Even if I had the money, I don't know if I could ever do that. And then I said, cut it out. Just cut it out. Why are you thinking like that? Cut it out. Sometimes you have to actually check yourself in a way that's going to resonate with you. Because mentally, I just said, I could never do that. I barely got what I got to make this. That was a mental thought. So mentally, I'm supposed to just combat that and say, I don't think that way, Brianna. Sometimes mental just don't be cutting it. You might have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, stop. Like if you were doing something bad and your mom saw you, just pop you in the mouth. You curse at your mother, boop, you're cursing. Every time you tell yourself you can't do something, you're not good enough, other people are somewhere that you want to be, and you find yourself comparing yourself to somebody else, you're cursing. And consider me your mother. The second thing that really helped me was reminding myself that there was a version of myself that prayed to be where I am today. I just talked about how there's always another tier, another level of success that we're trying to get to, and that's factual. So I'm upset comparing myself to other people who have X amount of subscribers or who have X amount of money or have X amount of whatever. And there was a time where I was comparing myself to people who are in the shoes that I am in at this very moment. That put things in perspective for me very quickly. I said, let me cut it out. Another thing, when I thought about this, I'm like, there's probably somebody looking at me thinking, this girl got it all. Aw, I want to cry. I just did my makeup. I look cute. I ain't crying. But no, like that is really a humbling thought. It's a humbling feeling because there probably is. You think that your life is just not, you're just not where you want to be and someone else just has the ultimate life. But someone is looking at you like, that girl, that man, that person has it all. And dang, I really wish that my life was like theirs. And this is not to say that you need to get cocky and pump your chest up like, yeah, I'm that bitch. I mean, you should feel confident in yourself. But like, you don't need to be cocky and nasty. You need to feel humbled by that feeling. Because it's true. There are people that are watching you. There are people that may be even envying you. And that's okay. Pray for them. But the point is, let's not sleep on the fact that you are in a place where you used to want to be and a place where a lot of other people may want to be. Don't take that for granted and remember that every single time you get to comparing. And the last thing that helped me was to replace that feeling of envy with adoration. That feeling of jealousy or comparison with inspiration. I'm claiming it right now. I do not compare myself negatively to other people. I look to people who I aspire to be like, and I look at them for inspiration. I am inspired when I look at these people. Ooh, she smell good. I want to smell like that. When I leave the house tomorrow morning, I'm putting on my finest perfume. I don't care if I'm going to the grocery store. I want to smell like that woman because she just gave me life. Do you see how I just flipped that? I didn't just get jealous of that girl because she's smelling like Baccarat and I don't got that at home. I'm going to put on that, what I got? That Zara perfume, baby. I'm gonna put in that Zara perfume because the way that girl just smelled good, even though we was only at QT, really ate for me. And I love that. I might even stop her and say, excuse me, you smell so good. What you got on? You smell delectable. I've been looking for a new fragrance. Thank you, sis. Now you done got you a friend. I think, especially where content creation is concerned, when you shift your energy that way, it makes you vibrate at a higher frequency. So when I said especially content, I meant like engage with the people that you are comparing yourself to. Engage. I think that there is also this like unspoken feeling of it being like fangirlish or a groupie even. If you stop someone or if you speak to someone in a certain way that's in a way of adoration, like you don't want to be a fiend out. You don't want to be a groupie. That's never cute. But you can engage and you can speak and you can compliment someone without it being like that. And I think that's also that whole thought process of it even being cringy or fangirly or whatever. I think that's a hyper masculine like vibe. You know how they talk about who's a girl's girl and who's not? A girl's girl is going to give the girl a compliment. Someone who's not a girl's girl or is operating from a space of toxic masculinity might just start comparing themselves, automatically trying to get into this rat race, thinking that we got to be crabs in the bucket. It's only X amount of fine men out here. That bitch trying to tell my men. No. We got to compare. We got to go to war. We got to go to battle. No, we don't. Say hi. To reclaim that energy of being envious or jealous or comparing yourself in a negative way, reclaiming that looks like inspiration, aspiration, adoration. Those are the types of feelings you should replace the comparison and the negativity with, because this will cause you to vibrate at a higher frequency, and naturally you will start to elevate into the spaces that those women are in. Just by associating yourself, by integrating yourself, by communicating, by engaging. I promise you. I'm doing that. Every single time from here on out I start feeling that way. If I can't verbally, I will digitally leave a comment. You ate that up. Period. Yes. But like, I'm doing it from here on out. And I implore you to do the same if you've ever felt the way that I was feeling yesterday. Not today. Not no more. Very calm, very cute, and this is the finished look as well as the conclusion of this video. Thank you so much for stopping by and for watching. I really hope that you took something away from this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I promise you're going to enjoy it here. We are glowing, we are growing, and we are learning every step of the way. I'm learning with y'all. We learn it together, and I think that this journey will be a whole lot better with you a part of it. So do yourself a favor. Come on the journey with me. And if not, like I said, it'll be hella entertaining to watch. With that being said, thank y'all again, and I will see you in the next video.